what you need. There is nothing to believe. Only when I stopped believing in myself did I come into this beauty. Sit quietly and listen for a voice that will say, be more silent, die and be quiet. Quietness is the surest sign that you have died. Your old life was a frantic, running from silence. Live in silence. And that is why Raman Maharshi says, silence is bliss. Silence is peace. And hence, silence is the self. So friends, let us start today's meditation. Please take a very comfortable position and relax your body. Close your eyes, cross your legs, clasp your hands, fingers into fingers. Begin to breathe naturally in and out. Don't try to control your breathing in any way. Just let it be natural. Just observe your normal, natural breath. If thoughts come in, just let them be and bring your awareness back to your breathing. The more you practice this, the easier it will become. So let us get started for our 40 minutes of meditation. Let the music begin. Now open your eyes. Once there was a farmer, and he had farmed all his life. One day he was working in his barn, and somehow or the other, the precious watch that he wore on his hand slipped. He was quite attached to the watch. It held a deep sentimental value for it, and he got quite worried. He started looking for the watch in the barn. He spent a few hours. Unfortunately, he could not find the watch. So he got exhausted, and he was about to call off the search when he heard a group of children playing outside. So he thought, why not tempt the children to actually find the watch by offering them an attractive reward? So he called all the children, offered the reward. The children got excited and they said, let's look for the watch. All the children went into the barn and started looking for the watch, but unfortunately, none of them could find it. Slowly, one by one, the children gave up, and then the farmer also gave up his hope. He was about to close the door when a little boy approached the farmer and said, can you please, sir, can you please let me have one go? The farmer, obviously being very attached to the watch, said, yes, my little son, go in and find the watch. The little boy went in, and within 10 minutes, he came out with the watch in his hand. The farmer was very surprised. He asked the little boy, how did you succeed in finding the watch when everyone, including myself, had failed? The boy replied, I just sat there, tried listening to the ticking of the watch. In silence, it was much easier to listen to it and direct the search in the direction of the sound. The farmer was delighted. to get the watch and rewarded the boy as promised. All of us need to learn to be silent in order to hear the ticking sound of our soul, of our self, of consciousness. All major religions talk about silence and its benefits. Osho says, sound is our mind, silence is our being. He further says, in your silence, when there are no words, no language, nobody else is present, you are getting in tune with existence. There are two types of silence: physical, moan, silence of the speech, and mental silence. There is a shloka, maunam sarvartha sadhanam, meaning silence conquers everything. Gandhiji used to observe silence every Monday. He wouldn't talk to anybody on that day. He would not break this rule for any reason. He would write down if there were a need, but won't speak at all. He felt very peaceful due to this. There was nothing to be talked about on that day. Also, there were no lectures to be delivered. Likewise, he also did not go for a walk on that day. The peace gained from the silence day used to comfort him a lot. Once, Paramhans Yoganand went to meet Gandhiji, but it was a Monday. Even though Paramhans Yoganand had gone to meet Gandhiji on a Monday, they sat down together and they used pen and paper for their conversation. What does observing silence help with? Observing silence helps lower blood pressure. It helps improve concentration and focus. It stimulates brain growth. It reduces stress hormone cortisol. Silence promotes self-control. Practice silence to conserve energy. Silence ensures peace of mind. Silence fosters purity. Mother Teresa used to say, we need to find God, but he cannot be found in noise and restlessness. God is the friend of silence. See how nature, trees, flowers, grass grow in silence. See the stars, the moon, and the sun, how they move in silence. We need silence to be able to touch souls. All of us have heard about intermittent fasting. So what does intermittent fasting do? It helps the body to rest. It helps, it helps the body to clear off the toxins that it has accumulated. Autophagy starts. So similar concept by Krishna Bhatt, an MD, Chief of Urology at Northern Light Eastern Mains Medical Center, says, intermittent silence is exactly what it sounds. Taking a break to intentionally sit or walk or stand in silence for a period of time, giving yourself the opportunity to disconnect from the noises and distractions of daily life. In the same way that people take a rest from eating or rest their physical body to lower their heart rate, it is important to rest the brain. So how do you practice mauna? Set aside an hour or two every day, or maybe a morning session or an afternoon session, or a full day every week. During this session, we should not talk. We should not look at emails. We should not look at social media or anything digital. At the same time, in order for us to get better at meditation, we should probably do a digital detox as well. That means no emails, no social media, nothing digital or electronic. Maybe a couple of hours before we go to sleep and a couple of hours just after waking up every day. What has my experience been of observing silence? As a sadhu, I used to spend many hours in meditation. However, in addition to that, I used to observe silence for up to 3 hours every day. Initially, it was difficult because I was living with 200 other sadhus in the ashram. However, once I started and was determined to observe silence, the benefits that I experienced were my mind calmed down. I realized that I had been talking a lot, which was mostly unnecessary. And now I could get by just using gestures for most things. I learned to respond and not react in various challenging situations. Silence helped meditation, and meditation helped silence. So it is helping each other. I experienced the proverb, empty vessels make the most noise. So my noise actually became less. And when you are around, surrounded by people, you sometimes wonder what all that noise is about. I remember a quote by Ramana Maharshi, silence is also conversation. Ramana Maharshi's main thing was people used, all the devotees used to go to him, but he would just sit in silence, and that itself was a conversation. Once there were four pupils in a Tendai school in Japan, and they were all sort of friends, and they decided that all of them should observe silence for 7 days. Once they took the decision, they started observing silence from the following day. The meditation began auspiciously. However, when night came and the oil lamps were growing dim, one of the pupils could not help, but he exclaimed to one of the servants, "Go and fix those lamps." The second student was surprised to hear the first one talk. And then he reminded the first student, "We are not supposed to say a word." The third one was quite surprised. He said, "Both of you are stupid. Why did you talk?" The fourth one was actually quite happy. And he said, "I'm the only one who has not talked." So their vow of silence was over. There is an English playwright who has said, "And when you are right, shut up, remain silent." A lot of the times when we speak, it just makes matters worse. A final quote from Abraham Lincoln, "Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt." Finally, great rivers flow silently and small streams make all the noise. What do you want to be, the big river or the little stream? Thank you, everyone. I hope I have not stunned everyone into silence. So it would be really great if you would share any of your experiences of either meditation or silence.
Hi, Dinesh.
Hi, Nilima.
Hi. So it was really wonderful topic, silence. So I just wanted to share also my experience here. As you said, like I'm also doing Mauna on every Saturday.
Very good.
And yes, when I am alone, it was a bit different because it was completely observing myself. And when I am with people, I also have realized how acceptant, like, how I am accepting every situation. So my acceptance levels are increasing. And I also started observing like how much of, unwanted talks, which I am also doing every day. So it is really helping a lot also to observe like what I'm doing, and also what you said, like, fasting with the digital fasting is also important, which I'll also start implementing.
Very, very good. If anyone has attended the Vipassana 10 days silent retreat, then it is a big detox, because for 10 days, not only do you not talk, but also you do not touch anything, any of your digital gadgets or your mobile or anything at all. So
Yes.
it does help a lot. Yes.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Dinesh, for sharing. So I just thought of sharing my experiences as well. And yeah, thank you so much.
And and Sridhar says, it is from the depth of the silence that the voice can be heard. So true.
Yes.
Anyone else would like to share any of their experiences?
Hello, Dinesh.
Hi.
Dinesh, this is Usha. Yeah, thank you so much. Not only for the very silent and peaceful meditation, but also your wisdom sharing, and also it's just like a reminder that one can observe peace and be away from digital media. Yeah,
Yes.
even I would try to take this challenge, like Nilima mentioned. Yeah, and I have done this 10-day vipassana
Yes.
some time back. Yeah, when you are there, you do not need anything. You do not need media. You do not want to talk. I think on the 10th day also, when they ask you to talk, you don't want to talk.
It becomes difficult to come out of that
Yeah, it's like, but when I plan to do next time probably like a 20-day, then I think I'll be cut off from
45
the
days.
world. I don't want to do. I don't want to come back to the normal world.
And
Right.
in the 10 days, you're not even supposed to meet anyone eye to eye.
Yeah. Those are the precepts, like
Yes.
10 precepts, I think, which, no stealing, no talking, not too much of food, no digital media, not even reading the books, nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite a challenge. Yeah, it's complete detox, I would say, but it's good. Yeah,
It is.
thank you for reminding that. Yeah, keep away from the digital media. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone? Pavani ji?
Namaste, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful, wonderful session. And nowadays, I'm doing Swadhyaya of Thousand Seeds of Joy. And in that, I was very happy listening to this topic, because when Saraswati Mata and Lakshmi Mata say that just empty your mind, empty yourself, yourself of everything, so that your mind will be dying and dying, and it is a continuous dying of the mind.
Yes.
So as we become empty, the mind is dying. So I just started working upon it, and I'm consciously trying to be aware that wherever my mind is being applied, I want to empty it. Yeah. So thank you for the inspiration.
Very, very,
And
very appropriate.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you.
Yes, Madhuji.
Dinesh, I always love your wisdom sharings. It's really, really amazing. And today, it's one of my favorite topics that you spoke about is silence. I'm mostly in silence. I
Wow.
speak very less. I speak only when it is required, and
Very
I
good.
also think less. And it all happened with the practice of meditation. And what I also observed is, Dinesh, that when I'm around Patriji, the enlightened beings, so the
Yes.
words disappear. You don't speak at all. You're just in silence. And we think that we need language to understand each other. But in that silence, you get to understand in a with a higher perspective. That is what I have observed. And I try to, like the more we are in silence, the more the better we will listen as well. As the example that you have shared about the little boy finding that watch, that ticking sound, it's really amazing when we contemplate. Yes, there is so much noise in our head That is why we are not able to see in front of us there is something, but we are not able to see. But if we just let go of all the noises, when we calm ourselves down, then we see, we have the clarity. So mind wise also we have to be silent, and words wise also we have to be silent, and physically also we have to be silent. That means fasting. So these things are very, very important. And every example that you have given about the four monks who had gone for I read this story, and when you were saying that there are four people going for this I was just laughing. Okay, this is the story. So yeah, how like we just don't notice. We think that okay, we blame others. Hey, you did it, you did that. But we don't look at our own selves, how we are within ourselves. So yes, silence is a very very great contemplating about ourselves, knowing about ourselves. So thank you so much, Dinesh.
And this is,
Wonderful.
and your experience is also very wise. Sitting with Patriji, and you don't need to speak, you don't need to say anything.
Yeah.
And that is a very similar experience to when I was sitting with our sort of enlightened souls, and you feel like sitting there for hours and hours, and you don't need to use any words at all. It's so true.
All the questions and everything disappears there. It's just pure silence. So thank you so much, Dinesh. Enjoyed it a lot today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dinesh ji. This is Varna. Yeah, wonderful meditation and wonderful concept that you shared. That is the root topic of the meditation and whole life actually is every being. So I loved all the examples that you mentioned. And especially wife and husband, exactly. I started practicing those, and I'm gaining a lot of benefits, and a lot of relationship we can cure by doing that.
Only one person needs to remain silent till everything is fine.
Exactly. Exactly, Dinesh. Yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, I have noticed that a lot. And people do understand and give respect when you do that. We think by arguing or by saying no, this is I'm right, you are wrong, will win, but not at all. Always just keep silence. They praise you. Oh, it's a good job you did. Just be quiet. Don't even say a word thank you or welcome. They understand. They give you more and more. So yeah, and even with the kids also, when they argue, they know that it's wrong. So don't even open and try to prove that they're wrong. Just be quiet. Just just don't even say a word, and they understand. Oh, my mom got that wrong. So with everyone, especially when there is a conflict, just to be silent, you gain a lot of benefits.
So true.
And yeah, it doesn't come automatically. We need to do a lot of sadhana, doing meditation and all. So you have to condition ourselves, so it automatically becomes obvious in our body. So we see some people are so wise, and so especially Swamijis or yogis, they maintain, like Patajis are also, they all maintain silence. We feel, oh my gosh, how they maintain, even though somebody's shouting, they don't say a word because they did a lot of sadhana. So yeah, everybody can become like that when they practice more and more. So yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate. It's much needed. We need to contemplate and remind ourselves every day. So love that topic.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Anybody else would like to share anything? So thank you, everyone, and see you tomorrow in the morning at 6 o'clock Germany time, 5 o'clock UK time. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Dinesh.